Okay, let me clip this to my shirt. Hi guys, I decided to refilm this video because I had done it in like lower lighting and I didn't really like that, and yeah, I don't know. So basically that was the 28th that I had filmed. So that was Chinese New Year, so happy belated Chinese New Year. And I had off from work that day, so I filmed. But now fast forward, it is now Saturday, so I'm gonna be making this video for you now. So basically I like to watch YouTube a lot, and I like to listen to people give like advice or talk about certain things, and I had decided to listen to someone that I used to listen to a lot. He's a pastor, and he was talking about how to know when something is for you versus it's not for you, sort of deal. And he gave a list of 7 points. So as I was taking notes on this, I was like, you know what, this would make a great video. So I was like, let me bring this onto my platform. So in my pink, I love pink notebook, I wrote a lot too, like really quickly. I wrote 2 full pages. I was so inspired. He begins off by, okay, and then this isn't your standard like man-woman relationship, right? That's what I'm talking about today. He referenced Adam. So he brought it all the way back to Genesis, and he brought it to Adam and Eve, and he said that Adam was a full healthy man before God ever gave him Eve. He wasn't someone that wasn't satisfied in God. He wasn't someone that didn't have purpose. Like, he had those things. He had purpose. He knew who he was in God. He knew who he was. He loved God. And I'm sure he loved Earth. So that was all before Eve was presented to him. And Eve was presented to him as a helper, as a mate. Okay, it's just like important to understand that. That's going to be the backdrop of everything. The question I wrote down was, is the man you're dating suitable to who you are and your walk in life? Okay, so like, just ask yourself, is this the type of person that is gonna be in my life for a long time? Are they aligned with my views on things? Do I feel like they like the same things I do? Feel politically the same as me? Do they have the same religious views as me, spiritual convictions? Those are important things to like really ask yourself, because if you don't have that, odds are it's not going to work out long term. So if you find yourself, another thing I wrote was, if you find yourself repeating things over and over again, that's another sign that you guys are no. If you have to repeat something a billion times, that person's not on the same like wavelength as you. I hate to use like layman terms like that, but it's very true, because if you have to repeat yourself a billion times, don't you think your best friend or people that really know you would have just gotten it the first time? So my solution to this is just ask yourself, for how long are you going to ask the same questions and express the same feelings? And to solve that, give yourself a timeline of, you know what, I'm gonna do this 3 more times. I'm literally gonna just ask 3 more times, and once I feel like I've communicated perfectly well 3 more times, no, we're not gonna do that anymore. So the pastor's name is R.C. Blakes, and he was saying that one way to know if a man is for you is if he has self-motivation. And a man needs self-motivation in order to garner respect from his lady. And he used an ant farm as an example, and he was saying that the ant is a motivated creature. It's programmed to do what it does to build the community, and whatever ants do, build their farm on the underground and dirt for their ant queen. So the point is that an ant doesn't question what he's supposed to do. He knows his purpose. He's getting down. Ooh. So in this way, you should really scope out if the guy you're with has self-motivation, has purpose more than 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the road. I actually wrote down myself, I thought to myself, well, you can make origami with paper, right? So a man can figure out if he wants to do something sweet for you, even if it's simple or even if it's not expensive. You don't need money to create a nice vibe. You don't need money to create a nice ambiance. Well, maybe a little bit, but literally this much. And I feel like the ambiance is what men don't understand. It's not about, oh, she wants me to take her to a $200, $300, $400 dinner. That's nice, and yes, who doesn't want that? But it's also about the vibe and about like feeling like you're special, like you're a prize, because you are. Then RC mentions that childhood wounds are not an excuse to not give to your partner. Okay. He mentions that a lot of men struggle with mother wounds or parental wounds, and women do too, but in this case, I'm just gonna focus on the man, right? There are no excuses for this as an adult outside of therapy, because that leads to like internalized disdain for your partner, or feeling like that partner reminds you of your parent in some way. You just need to heal. And I wrote that it literally creates an emotional disability. I'm obsessing over my hair, guys, I'm sorry. I hypothesize that it creates an emotional disability, and it creates either overdependence or detachment, and you may not even know it. They may not even know it, which is the crazy part. So you can sound the alarm, but you're not going to be the one to like take care of the issue, because it's not for you to do unless you're a licensed therapist. And even then, don't be a licensed therapist in your own relationship. You need to separate work and play. Your relationship, you should have the expectation that someone is ready to be dating if you're dating them. And I also put that it's essential that 1 to 2, is this even on? Whatever. It's essential that 1 to 2 people know about your dating life, because you need to have that checks and balances, and you should not be the only one to know about everything. Someone else should know about a little bit more than, you know, what meets the eye from the outside. You should have a confidant, a parent, a loved one, a friend that is going to give you their outside objective frame of like what you're going through, what you're dealing with. This guy also mentioned that a man should be a covering and not a lid. And why is that? Because a lid is just sealed shut. A lid is a lid. You don't really open it. Or if you do open it, you're taking from it and then you're closing it right up. And odds are you aren't replacing what's in that jar. Okay? So basically, the difference between a lid and a covering is that a covering can expand and grow with whatever is growing in the bowl. If you think about sourdough bread, you cover it with the like bread cloth, cheesecloth shit, whatever. Ooh. Cheesecloth thing, okay? You don't put it into a tight jar and you seal it while it's, because it needs it needs that air in order to grow, in order for the starter even to ferment. You don't tightly seal it, because that's just gonna ruin it, and it's not gonna grow, and it's not gonna be what it's supposed to be. Okay, think about that. And actually it'll rot. So the pastor quoted in Ephesians how I think Paul, like the apostle Paul, wrote, husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church, and how he gave himself up for the church. So think about, does the man you're with give anything up for you? Does he sacrifice for you? And not in any crazy way. Just ask yourself that question. This is also why, in my opinion, and a lot of other women or even men will agree, parents will definitely agree, that children complicate the dynamic if you have them too early. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. That's the norm, okay? There are some exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, it's not gonna help the situation before you've assessed if this person is really for you. And also because, has he done for you what you're about to do when you give birth? That sacrifice, that pain? What has he done for you to like merit you giving, mothering his child in this world? And that, with that being said, the natural response of a wife or someone that knows that she has someone that's a good partner is you're going to submit to them and you're going to be wanting to follow their lead. Why? Because they're a good leader and you sense that. This pastor also said that your man will have a revelation of you, which I thought was so sweetly put, whether you're religious or not religious. Like, just imagine someone having like this revelation that you're for them and that they want to devote their life to you. That should be the gold standard. That should be the bare minimum. And also, I put that we are creative assets, okay? Women, for the most part, there are some women that are not and those are like, again, outside the norm. But for the most part, women are going to add to your life and be creative and embellish the things that you create as a man. And if you think about any successful couple, you'll notice that the wife is the creative, youthful fountain of youth to that relationship. You can check it, you can double check, you're gonna find that that's the case. And with that, I guess that's all I have to say about that. I didn't give exactly 7 reasons, I just kind of gave some thoughts that pop into my head and some of what this pastor said, because I thought it was just chef's kiss. It was so good. And lastly, I added a little bit about Chinese New Year and just wanted to bring to perspective that 2025 is the year of the snake, okay? It's actually specifically the year of the wooden snake. Now, what does this mean? This symbolizes balance and developing patience, whether you like it or not. And you know what's funny? My supervisor, I work with a lot of people who are of Chinese descent, and she said to me, you know what, look up what your birth year, how they fare in the year of the snake. I just did it because it's fun. It's not that I really believe in it, you know. I'm not like a super spiritual new age person in that sense, following astrology. I just think there is truth in certain astrological things. And it said that in the year of the snake, the year of the tiger, and like a couple other people, I just looked at my year, okay? I was born in the year of the tiger, which I feel like Eye of the Tiger came out that year. Eye of the Tiger, I think it came out in that year, which would make perfect sense. But we're very like attack, adventurous. We like to lead. We like to be going about our business, doing this X, Y, and Z. And the year of the snake is about patience and balance and stopping and waiting and being patient and following the path that's for you and not trying to rush that process. And I think that's very good for anyone that's like me, or just in general. It's good to stop, analyze, feel like, okay, what am I doing? Where's my life direction headed in? And kind of taking it easy and not being so impulsive. It's a very adult concept, you know, because being impulsive is so prefrontal lobe development vibes. So yeah. And I put whether you like it or not, because it's gonna happen whether you like it or not. You're gonna have to slow down. You're gonna have to be patient. You're gonna have to, it fares you better to be patient. Sit back, and back to what I was talking about. Don't just rush to be with anyone. Take a look at their self-motivation. Are they having revelations of you? Are they treating you like a special person that they want for their life walk? Are they being a covering to you? Or are they being a lit? Are they snuffing out the light of your dreams and your aspirations and your ideas? Okay. Do you have to repeat yourself a billion times? Like, those things take patience, time, and watching it unfold, which is like very year of the snake vibe. And think about, snakes are not fast. Tigers are fast. Lions are fast. Cheetahs, jaguars are quick. The snake is very slow and thinks every move out before it performs that final strike on its prey, or before it tries to flare its wings, so to speak, to scare you off. A snake knows more before it acts. A snake, that's the vibes that snakes give me. I bet if I look up facts about a snake's brain, it'll tell me exactly this. Why? Because just seeing its behavior, I know it thinks that way. So it's the year of the wooden snake, self-improvement, a Confucian core value. Okay, back in Confucius's days, probably BCE vibes. I don't know when Confucius was alive, if that even is a person. I hope it is, so that makes sense and don't look stupid. But it's a Confucian core value, okay? And wood, the fact that it's a wooden snake, what does wood do? Wood is life generating. Wood comes from trees that are growing out of the literal earth. We can create shelter, we can create fire with it to cook our food. We can build so many different things, furniture, shelter, toys. Like thinking in the old days, people were carving toys out of wood. We can make spoons and bowls for ourselves. You can create everything we want with wood. So just think about wood being life-giving. So I believe that 2025 is going to be a life-giving year, with self-improvement and patience being at the core of it. And that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you like this angle better, let me know. This lighting better, let me know. Okay, if you like this video, subscribe to me and like this video. Bye.